The next and final song that we will discuss in this series is 1 800 273 8255 by Logic. Now, 1 800 by Logic, featuring Khalid and Alicia Cara, was released in 2017. The song discusses mental health in detail, taking on the perspective of a suicidal person's conversation with someone on a suicide prevention hotline. Logic is a rapper and record producer who has been nominated for numerous awards, including 2 Grammys, for the track 1 800. Mental health has always been an extremely serious issue in society, especially amongst teens. The pandemic, if it had one benefit, was that it forced people to think and consider their mental health more seriously. 1 800 talks deeply about this issue, as I said earlier, from the perspective of someone who wishes to take their own life. The song debuted on the Billboard chart at number 61 and rose to peak at number 3. The single was off Logic's third studio album, Everybody, and it had a significant impact on people. The music video that accompanied the single was one of the factors that led to its success, showing the tale of a gay teenager who has lost his will to live but managed to pull through at the worst time of his life and eventually got married to the man he loved. 1 800 273 8255 was actually the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline in the USA, but that number has since been changed to 988. The executive director of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, John Draper, stated that in 2017 they actually had a 26% increase in calls. More people were calling the lifeline, reducing the death count due to suicide in the USA for the year. Let's take a look at some of the lyrics. Firstly, in the beginning, I've been on the low, I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. It feel like my life ain't mine. And then in parentheses, who can relate? The song starts off with a pre chorus, and this consists of the lines that were just stated. The first line talks about the person's mental state. I've been on the low means that the speaker is depressed or experiencing a low or depressive period. The follow up line means that the person feels like they're losing their mind, and the final line talks about the dissociation they feel, their helplessness and inability to control the actions that have been taken in their own life, which fail to make them happier or improve their mental health or life quality. The statement in parentheses, who can relate, shows the solidarity that the person is feeling. They feel as though they are all alone in the world with no one to relate to. The next line is, I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be alive. I just want to die today. I just want to die. The chorus, for this is the chorus, states the wants of the speaker. These lines show the crux of the matter, the most important message and even wish that the subject of the song is singing about. They no longer want to live, no longer have the desire to live. They have clearly gone through something extremely traumatic, whether that is the loss of a family member, or they're bullied by their peers or associates, or they have experienced physical, mental, and or emotional abuse. Listeners also are forced to wonder just how someone ends up in a position wherein they feel as though their last resort in making themselves feel better is to kill themselves. How is it possible? The next line is, all this other shit I've been talking about, they think they know it. I've been praying for somebody to save me. No one's heroic. And my life don't even matter. I know it. I know it. I know I'm hurting deep down but can't show it. The first verse describes the conversation happening between a suicidal person and the person on the hotline, where the person is telling the operator about their feelings. They tell the operator about how others say they understand how they're feeling, But they really don't, and that despite how much they wish to be saved, no one could. No one was heroic enough. The person continues on to say how they know all this, they feel and know that their life does not matter, but they keep pretenses and hide it, hide the hurt, and refuse to show it to anyone. Next, we'll be discussing the lines I want you to be alive. I want you to be alive. You don't gotta die today. You don't gotta die. This is the second half of the conversation from the operator's perspective. They tell the person at the other end that they don't want them to die and that they don't have to die. They want them to live and be alive. Listeners over the course of the song are sort of forced to think about what in the world could have happened to someone to make them want to kill themselves and resort to a stranger talk them out of it and tell them that the life is valuable and not something to be thrown away. People do not have to die. Life is always, always worth living. Finally, the last lyrics we'll be discussing. I know where you've been, where you are, where you're going. I know you're the reason I believe in life. What's the day without a little night? I'm just trying to shed a little light. It can be hard. Logic's second verse is from the perspective of a third person, telling the victims that he understands what they're going through. He understands where they mentally are and where they're going, and that their perseverance is the reason he believes in life. Referring to their current state as night, the line day without a little night means that everybody has their ups and downs, but inevitably their downs will become ups, just like how night always becomes day. His follow up line, shed some light, is his way of saying that he was trying to spread awareness on the matter and the message that everyone's bad phase is only temporary. It may take time, sometimes it will take time, but things will get better. Their mental state will get better no matter how hard or difficult it is. The song had an immediate impact and is a great beacon of hope and belief in life. It also spreads the message about the importance of mental health and how it is not only okay to ask others for help when they need it, but also that life is always worth fighting for. No matter what, there is always a reason to keep living, and one must find something to keep it, whether that is music in a song or in a lyric, or a painting, or one's friends, family, or even in yourself. I believe you can simply want to live for yourself. There is only one of you in the world, and no matter the ups or downs or how grave it may seem, you were born the way you are for a reason, and you were perfect for it. Logic said that the inspiration behind the song came from meeting his fans and hearing how he saved their lives. It led him to thinking about how his music saved the lives of people he didn't know of, and how honored and amazed he was at this, and that he had been given this opportunity. The song was an anthem of hope, and it worked because, as I mentioned earlier, in 2017, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline had an increase in calls by over 25%. Mental health is important, and please always remember that life is always worth living, always worth fighting for.